Hi, folks. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here. Can you already hear me?
I can hear you, Kevin.
Cool. I'm largely going to keep my mic muted because I'm eating some very loud food. Same reason I'm keeping my video off. Nobody wants a record of me chewing stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing the same because I'm grilling in the backyard and my dog's barking and everything else. So I'll keep it muted.
Alrighty.
All right.
And Char, can you hear us? Or are you, do you have audio stuff yet?
She looks like she's muted.
She does look that way. It was giving me a notice that she wasn't connected to audio yet, but that notice went away. I'll mute for a second because I'm about to take another bite.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
I can, but I can hear you twice. I don't know if that was just Kenny's mic. He's got it muted now. Can you hear us?
I think I fixed it.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay, good. Yeah, you would think that I would have Zoom calls down by now, but I don't.
That's all right. I'm keeping mine with the video off because I'm also eating, and I realized on a previous video that it was just a bunch of me chewing, and that was not something I wanted a record of.
Look, it's a different time for everybody. We're all doing things that we don't normally do, and to me, it's perfectly acceptable. You know?
At least you guys could do without the crunching, I'm sure.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel you. And 7 o'clock is our dinner time too. So anyway, I of course have very little time to make anything or build anything or just get back into the groove since we've been on lockdown. And of course, I'm a homeschool teacher now of 4 little ones who have Zoom calls every day, which is exciting, but that's not giving me the time that I need to build. But I had just an idea to make something fun and creative. While we've been out, I've been working with my twin school on coming up with age-appropriate STEAM projects for them. So the kids and I would get together and do little projects like, can we get this can to move without touching it? Well, yes, if we rub this PVC pipe with a cloth, static electricity, we can get it to move. For 3 and 4-year-olds, that's kind of ooh and ah for them. So for the last installment, we called it STEAM Thursdays. For the last installment for STEAM Thursday, I did a Jeopardy game for them. And I was trying to figure out how I could build some sort of buzzer, something that lit up. I haven't got to the sound component of it yet, but my goal is, of course, to use things that we have at home rather than risk my life and go out and buy something that we don't need. So I just started looking around the house for things that I could recreate to make a buzzer, to make something light up. So I'll show you. So this is the little system, and I was able to cut some scrap wood, which made me feel really good. So I know the camera is going to be a little shaky because I'm moving my computer. I don't know if you can see that, but it is, I mean, basically I just screwed 2 pieces of wood together, one on top, and I'll take the camera around the side. And I did like a better quality video that I'll be happy to share and post for people who want to view it later. But each kid has a tablet, and we have these cute little Jeopardy screens. It's actually an app, a Jeopardy app, where they were able to write their names just to give them some ownership of their particular project. And I cut out, this is actually vinyl folders that I cut out to correspond with their colors. I know these are switched around, but to correspond with their colors, and then a piece of contact paper in the back. I'm gonna just see if I can prop this up for just a second. Sorry about that noise. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. I'm gonna step away from the camera just so you guys can see a little bit. So we just picked up whatever we could find around the house. This is a wooden toy hammer. And I put together these buzzers, and I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it with this light, but there's like small buzzers back here. I'll pick one up and show it. But when they wanted to answer a question, they would hit the light and then it would light up. And I had to make this so that they could use it. It was all from, like I said, recycled materials. I'm gonna peel one off here if I can. So we glued these down. So this is what I did to put these together. I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see our little light up buzzer so they can hit it. My initial thought was, of course, to make something out of wood, but then I thought little hands hitting wood very hard to answer a question pretty quickly wouldn't go over so well. So I started thinking, what could I use that was soft? And I came up with pool noodles. Something weird just happened to my screen. I've got a virtual background. Oh, because it's green. Isn't that cool? Anyway.
That's a neat effect.
It's a green pool noodle. I know it's hard to see because I guess the virtual background is turned on.
That's actually pretty hilarious. It looked like space when you were holding that up.
No, I took a piece of space.
That's right. Yeah.
Space during quarantine to get away, and yeah, that's how I made a game buzzer. So I painted each one with just some acrylic paint, cut a small piece off with my pull saw, and then I asked the kids if I could borrow their little cups of slime. I've glued this together, so bear with me. So these were little cups that had slime in them. So I took them out, and I used these because I wanted to diffuse the light a little bit. Oh, I need to tell you where I got the light from. So as you know, most children's toys, they blink, they have, am I still in outer space?
Well, it looks good. Just anything green, you get a little bit of space in it. But
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let me move away from this light so it's not glaring at you guys. Again, looking around the house, recycled materials of what I could use to come up with something that lit up, something that when you hit it, it lit up. So I didn't have to do any type of coding. This was basic. Again, I did this for the kids' preschool, so it didn't need to be elaborate. So this is what I did. I found these, 4 of these light up shoes. And I actually found this on accident. I was up in the attic and I was rummaging through old toys and the sandal falls out and it hits the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I wish I had one out here that I cut, but I cut the shoe open. These shoes were never intended to be cut open, obviously. So it took quite a bit of work, but then I was able to retrieve a small a microcontroller out of here that just has two, I don't know if you guys can see that, two little lights on the end that were in the bottom of the shoe down here. And then I took a piece of foil and glued that down. Actually, the kids helped me glue this down to the pool noodle. And then I put a piece of foil on top of there just to give it a little more reflection so it light up a little bit more, because it's just, I think, 2 or 3 tiny lights. I just sandwiched that together like that. And I know it's just totally bootleg, but remember, like, I'm not going to the store, and I've ordered so much stuff from Amazon, I had to just take a break. So that is that's our buzzer.
So what triggered it? So the shoes automatically had some sort of pressure sensor in there, obviously, that when you hit it, or what, like when they hit it with a hammer, what causes it to turn on?
So the light in the shoe is activated by any type of pressure. So, right. You know, as you walk. Yeah, yeah. So any type of pressure.
So that's built into that microcontroller and the pieces of that came out of the heel of the shoe.
Exactly,
gotcha.
Exactly. So this is basic, right? This is like great for, you know, let's have family game night, or if, you know, you decide to start having people over, let's do something fun, cheap, creative. Let's find stuff around the house that we can put together. This is perfect for that. But let's say you want to up it a little bit. Now, I am not a coder at all, but I'm trying really hard to learn as much as I can about coding in Arduinos. So let me show you one step up if you want to do a little more coding or play around with Arduinos. And I'm sorry about my cameraman. I don't know what happened to them. I guess they're eating dinner. How dare them eat dinner and not help me. I'm joking. Okay. So let me get on this blue one and show you. So again, we put the tablets in front just to make it cute, have their name up there. This one's for us. Yay, the Gator Makers. So I'm sure, well, I know most of you have seen this before, but this is a Arduino Uno, but it's actually from a company called Alegu, and they make all types of microcontrollers, the same type of things that Arduino makes. And I brought a kit about a year ago, and it comes with a lot of projects, and they explain it thoroughly how to put them together. So I decided to play around with it. And instead of coding it, I have this. This is called an 8x8 LED matrix. So it basically has lights on it. And this would be step 2 if you didn't want to get pool noodles and cut them. And this required no coding, can I add? All I did was connect, there's 5 jumpers that come directly from the matrix. And like I said, it comes with all the directions. Of course, I did some Googling and things to find out some different information about it, but it's very basic. It has diagrams. I'm happy to post it and share with you how I did it. But it has this nice little reset button on there, which, like I said, requires no coding. So all I have to do is, in theory, hit the button and it lights up for just a second. So if you don't want to hit anything and you just want to hit a button and say, I have the answer, you can just hit that button right there. Easy peasy, right? There's also another option that doesn't require, there's nothing green back there. That's really weird. Another option that doesn't require any coding, and that's using an LED light strip, which I don't know if you can see it that well because I keep trying to go to outer space. I don't even know where the green's coming from. But this is actually just 3, can you see that? three
can
of
see
the,
the,
okay, three jumper cables that extend directly from the LED strip, and I just plugged one in to, there's a 5-volt pin here, ground. You always want to make sure that you're grounding your wires. Again, no coding whatsoever on this one. And there's several cycles that it goes through. It can go through rainbow, and I'll show you. I wish I knew where the green is coming from. I'll show you, if I can share my screen here, where you can go to code those things. Again, I wanted to do something basic. We're stuck at home. We're looking for things to do. We, want to entertain people, learn a new skill. If you haven't done coding yet, I think that they make it very, very easy for you to do that. Now, if I can figure out how to share my screen, I wanted to share just a few resources. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard of Arduino, which is a free open source software program that provides instruction on coding, what components you need, as well as the actual code to get you started. And lots of people post their projects on there, and they're more than happy to help and provide direction. I'm gonna try and turn off my virtual screen. Maybe. Ah, there we go. Okay. So Arduino is pretty easy to use. And if you haven't used it yet, let me just show you what it looks like. Oh, Kevin, are you the host?
I might be.
Okay. Can you make it so that I can share my screen?
Yeah, through the Surface or the other one?
Yeah, the Surface.
All right. Did that do something?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's my mom. Say hi, mommy.
Oh, well, let's not have your mom do that.
Philippine. Char Surface iPad is my mother.
Well, she might have to make you. Oh, I can reclaim code post. Never mind. Learn all kinds of new things today. All right, see if that
I'm
works.
the host now. Okay. So. Okay, can you guys see that? I'll take that as a yes, because it says I'm sharing. So this is Arduino. And when you first open it, I'll just open up a new one. It looks like this. Now let's say, for example, I wanted to code the LED strips that I just showed you. I mean, you can put those up in your house, you can put them in your car, you can make a cooler buzzer with them. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Of course, you can buy the ones that are battery powered or that you can plug in, but who would want to spend $5 on that when you can spend $50 on buying the supplies and doing it yourself? So that's what we do, right? Maker's gonna make. The good thing about Arduino is that a lot of the codes are already built in to perform basic functions. And again, not a coder, I'm learning, so please, if you see any red flags, let me know. So what I did for this particular one was I went into, these are some of the basic codes that are already in here. Adafruit, NeoPixel, and you can download these off the internet. Arduino has its own library where you can download things that different codes that people have made and put together. So I did strand test, and this is the code that shows up, right? And let me see if I can grab it for you and show you exactly what it does. So here is my Arduino Uno, courtesy of Decatur Makers from a class I took a couple years ago. So all I did, and this is the breadboard where you've probably seen where there's lots of wires and connections, which I'm not gonna pretend that I know a lot about. So I just took the wires that were at the end of my LED strip here. Let's see if you can get a better view of the light. Maybe, okay. So each one of those circles, like here where I'm pointing, is an actual light. And it goes between like variations of red, green, and blue, but of course you can adjust those up or down. The code is all there. So I'm gonna plug mine back in and see if I can get it working. And again, there's like professional ways to do this. But guess what? You can buy this stuff tomorrow. You can be a coder by midnight tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I broke my lights because now only like 3 of them are working. So there, it's flashing red. I know it's kind of hard to see in the light, but if I were to go,
Char, it looks like you got muted somehow.
cool now.
Yep, you're good.
I learned some really cool things working on these projects is you can plug this into your computer to power it and to code it. Once it's coded, you can use a 9-volt battery or other type of power supply to continue providing power to whatever you're doing. And then also, there are these really tiny, tiny microcontrollers. I mean, like, I'm talking about tiny. They're actually called teeny tiny. And you can program those to do pretty much whatever you want so that you don't have to have a power supply. You just need to make sure that you connect the pins with, and by pins, I mean, those are the little spiky things that usually stick out. I don't know if you can see those, but if you've ever poked yourself on one, then you know what a pin is because those things are sharp. But you can just put some copper tape on there and put together something like a paper circuit. I brought some stuff to show you one, but I don't know if I can get it in the camera angle. So let's look at my screen and let's talk about what we're seeing here. So this particular sketch or code is what Arduino calls it, is called strand test. And I know if you've never done coding, it looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Trust me, it still looks like that to me. But here you'll see where it says void loop. This is where it starts telling you the different types of functions that the LED strip can do. So it can go through just red, just blue, green, or it can do pink, yellow, orange. There's also something called theater chase, which is where the lights just go back and forth very quickly. Rainbow chase, where it's all the colors of the rainbow. Very, very pretty. And you can go through and just choose what you want. And honestly, I mean, I did a lot of reading and YouTubing just to look up each one and testing code because sometimes it doesn't work. You get an error message and then you have to figure out why you got the error message. But if you've got time right now, I would suggest that you go ahead and just play around with it and try and do a sample project. the kit that I have, I'll see if I can pull it up and show you. I highly recommend it because it does have a lot of great projects. So from here, I can decide which one of these cycles I want to go through. Do I want to do rainbow? Do I want to do rainbow enhanced theater marquee? Because that sounds amazing. I think I would want to do that. So these two, what are those called? Backslash. If there is a backslash in front of that particular area of code, that will not be read. So I can either delete it or I can put the backslashes there. And the way that you save in Arduino is by going here. This is your upload button. Nope, that's not it. This is your upload button. You click that upload button. You wait until it compiles the sketch. And it's basically checking for errors. Is there something wrong? Are you missing a parentheses where you should not have them? Oh, look, I got an error message, an error occurred while uploading the sketch. And that could be for any reason. So it says something about my port isn't right. And that's because I unplugged my Arduino from the computer. So it's not actually recognizing it. But getting to know what those codes mean, and by no means am I an expert on this, or you're thinking there's no way that I would begin to know. I would just close my computer and just not do it. So if you're that person and Arduino is still a little confusing, I'm going to show you something else that is good. Just waiting for it to load. I don't know about anybody else, but I did just learn that my internet speed was not nearly as fast as I thought it was, with 6 people being on the internet all the time, all day. I'm trying to keep you guys from staring into the light. First it was outer space, now it's a light. Always something fun at my house. All right, let me see if I can share this screen. I think this might be it. So this is a site called Circuito, and it's pretty cool. And let me show you why I love it. Because if you know zero about this is gonna help you, okay? So say you buy a Lego kit that I've spoken so highly of, and you're like, okay, I have no idea like what pin goes where, even though I have pictures, I'm still totally confused. You have a general idea, you watched a couple YouTube videos, but you still don't know. This, of course, as we discussed, is the Arduino Uno, which is known as a controller. This is the hub, this is what generates all the information, your toys, your electric razor, your television, your remote. All of them have a version of a controller. How do I know that? Because I've taken a lot of stuff apart in the past couple weeks. Some of it was my kids' toys. I hope they don't find out. So we start with the controller. This is like the most basic one. And let's see, what do I want to make? I don't know. I was working on my matrix earlier, okay? So I start with my Arduino and I want to add my matrix, but I'm not really sure where that matrix thing goes. So I type it in here and take it. Oop. I'm gonna plug in my computer really quick. I think my screen got dark on you guys. Okay, there we go. The cool thing about this particular site is you can enlarge on whatever it is you're looking at learn more about it. If you don't have one, you could even buy it from this particular site. I'm going to close that, and I'm just going to drag this over and wait, and bam, like magic, it tells me exactly where I need to connect it to get it to work. And as far as the jumper cables are concerned, do I have any out here? I'm sure you've seen these before. They come in an assortment of colors, and I did find out that the color doesn't change anything about the way that these work. You do need to do what they call ground all of your circuits. This is a circuit, and people usually use black for that. I have a bunch of random ones, so I just try to remember what I use for which one. But if you're just starting out, then I would suggest you use the color that's suggested in the diagram, because at the end you could have 50 jumper cables going all over the place, and if something is wrong, you won't know which one to fix. So this is the wiring diagram, and you know, I want to do something else. Like, is it possible for me to have a button that I can push to make my lights go? Now, I will tell you, the one that I was working on, which was this one, it does have a button right here, and that's what I was pressing. That's a reset button, but that button's tiny, and why I'm okay pushing that, I probably wouldn't let my kids push it because there's pins right next to it, and like I said, those hurt if you help yourself. So I want to do an external button. So I'm going to grab that button, and I want to add that to my project. But whoa, what is that that just showed up? A breadboard, because there is no place to plug this in on your controller. But no worries, this comes in the kit, and guess what? This site sells it. So let's say I'm all done. That's all I want to do. I want to hit the button and turn on my matrix. So I'm done here, right? So what next? Now I need the code for it. So you press code, and this, the software actually codes it for you. I know. What are you looking at? Well, if you look closely, if you look here on the top, it'll tell you what each section means. So pin definitions, pins are where you plug things in. Each one of these is considered a pin, and there's a number actually on the outside and on the inside. So you know, okay, the blue wire goes into pin 12, and then the other side goes onto the breadboard on the negative side. I know, still confused. It's about to get a whole lot better. So it tells you each section, what you're doing, what you're looking for. And if you have to Google each thing as you're working through it, that's fine. No one came out of the gate knowing all this stuff. Maybe Bill Gates, maybe. Okay, so there's the code. You download the code here, and then you can open it in Arduino. Easy peasy. Now for the fun part, project guide. I am ready to make this thing happen. Maybe. Sorry, my internet's slow. Okay, this is what comes up. So you have your bill of materials. That's basically what we're using to code this, to build this, your wiring diagram, the code, and then you get to actually test it. So if I go to my wiring diagram, it will explain in great detail how to put this together. So this is a step-by-step guide. So I start with the first step, place my Arduino. Oops. Sorry about that. Place my Arduino, bam. What's next? Place my LED and my push button. Oh, and it's asking me to get this thing. This is a resistor. And the purpose of the resistor is to control the amount of light that's coming from whatever you're powering up so it doesn't burn out the light too quickly. And they sell these in different, I think they call them ohms. So there's 10, there's 100, there's 1,000,000. And every project will tell you how many you actually need. And then it goes through each step. So it tells me to place my ohm there, my resistor there. And if you look, you can actually zoom in and see exactly where you need it to go. Because every breadboard has negative and positive side and a gutter. This middle part's called the gutter. And it tells you exactly where to place it. So you just go through each step, and each step, I mean, it's blinking, so you can't miss it. You're like, what? I think I put the blue wire where the red wire is supposed to go. So it blinks, and you connect it. Bam. Keep going through all the steps. Okay. Scroll down. Let's just say we did all of this. And you can zoom in to see exactly where you need to go. Again, this is our light right here. This is our controller. And this is sort of like the glue that holds it all together. Breadboard. Bread pretty much holds my life together. I like bread. So I don't know if that's why they call it that. Anyway, so we keep going and we're down to the bottom, right? Put my push button in right there. I'm ready to go. Then I'll connect it to my computer. There's a cable that runs from here, and it's a USB. And that's what I'm going to connect to my computer. Connect to my power supply. Bam. And then I'm ready to upload my code. And I'm not going to go through the steps of saving it, but if I were to save it, I can go here, open it, upload it, and then I'll go back to Circuito and test it. So it'll tell me to test it, and the test is pretty simple. Go back to Arduino. Oh, mine's is not gonna work because it's not connected. But testing it, basically, if you have a light, if you hit test, the light comes on. It's like, okay, it works. And if it doesn't work, then it's possible that the wires were not connected properly or in the wrong place because they're so close together. So you may have moved it over one and you just need to look at it again. And then also you could have bad code. So that is one piece of equipment that I use. And this is another one, which I think is pretty cool. Tinkercad. Tinkercad is really good for kids because you can just basically move things over in blocks. I haven't used it to code anything, but it's been a great great resource to just kind of play around and learn different things if mine's ever loads. So how's everybody's day going? Good, I hope. Everybody's muted. Feel like I'm
all
talking
good on
right
my
now.
end.
Okay, so this is Tinkercad. And in Tinkercad, you can do so many things. 3D design, you can print on the 3D printer, which I hope we can all do very soon. Again, you can code your circuits. Look at all of the great things you could design in Tinkercad and make. And let me see if I can show you what the code blocks look like. And if you have any recommendations for internet providers other than Xfinity, please feel free to let me know, because this is no bueno. All right, I'm not going to make you guys stare at my screen loading up because I don't know when it's going to actually show up. But, oh, there we go. Okay, so if you can see, I won't go into it too deeply, but this is literally how easy they make it. Like this will say LED light, blue, and all you have to do is literally drag it over and it creates the code for you. They're really trying to make coding more simple and available to everybody because, I mean, it is our future, right? One other thing that I'm going to try to show you with my camera situation that you can probably do like tonight. You give me a second to set up my computer. I'm going to turn my screen off so nobody gets like motion sickness. And I need you guys to let me know if you can see. Oh, no. Let's turn that camera around. 2 months on Zoom, and I don't know, I'll turn the camera around. All right, I'll try and make it work anyway. I'll just kind of prop this up, maybe. I feel like this is that progressive commercial where like everybody's on the Zoom call and everybody's doing something weird. Someone's vacuuming, someone is like has their face too close to the camera. All right, so I know like everybody has this at home. This is called a coin cell battery. These are in pretty much every toy. They're in your garage remote, old calculators. Like I think I opened up like everything in our house looking for these, but it's a cell battery. And you can use a cell battery to power this, which is an LED light. Can you see that? And it has a positive and a negative side. I know you can barely see, one side's longer than the other. The longer side is positive, of course. And then the cell battery has a positive and negative side, just like any other battery. So when you connect the LED to the cell battery, it powers it up, just like that. And you can use that to create what's called a paper circuit. So I'm just going to take this piece of paper here, and I'm going to draw like the best picture I've ever drawn in my whole life. I'm going to make a paper circuit. Okay. So here I have a positive side, a negative side, on what I'm going to do. And of course, like, I wish I could get my camera position where I can show you while I'm doing this. So just bear with me. I'll try and do it as quickly as possible. But I'm going to put copper tape along here and here to make a connection. Now, copper tape is sold like at Ace and Home Depot, and it's sold, I think it's slug tape to keep snails away, which I didn't know, but of course I'm gonna use it for our little project. So it looks like that. It's copper, surprise, and it has a little backing on there because one side is, wait for it, adhesive. I'm gonna peel a little bit off, and what I'm doing now is just taping it onto my paper. I'm gonna show you, and I hope that this works, because if not, then you guys are gonna be like, Char, what the heck? Okay, it worked earlier, so we'll see. If it doesn't, go to YouTube. There's like 8 million people doing it. And there's some really great downloads of pictures that you can add paper circuits to. I know you've seen greeting cards in the stores. You've seen greeting cards that light up. You've seen greeting cards that have music in them. Guess what? With most of the stuff that I've showed you tonight, you can make that. You can make all of it, like now. Okay. Because it's just a tiny microcontroller, like the ones that were in the shoe, that were programmed with a speaker, which you can do with your Arduino. Get a picture that you like, cut a hole in it, make you a paper circuit, and then you can have a light up singing card, like personalized. Like, wouldn't that be fun? Because we totally have time to do that right now, right? All right, so there is my copper tape that I placed down. And I'm going to connect my cell battery, if I can find it. Okay. So what I'm doing now is connecting my LED light and my cell battery, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Oh, and I did make one mistake, guys. Which I'm going to show you, and I hope it doesn't mess up the project. I forgot to leave a break in between my copper. So I'm going to take this, I made a break in between there, and that's where my light's going to go. So I'm going to just take some Scotch tape, like that, and I'm going to take my light down so that it doesn't move. And make sure that those pins, you know, the positive and the negative side, make sure that they're on top of the copper tape, because what they're doing, copper is conductive. So metal, conductive, it's passing the energy along, which we totally want to happen. And it's not working, guys. Okay, barely. It could be because I'm going really fast and trying to like do it and show you at the same time. Okay, so in theory, I promise this works if you want to try it. I promise. So here's what I did. I taped my light right there. That's the negative, that's the positive. I might have reversed those. And my battery, and essentially you would take your battery down right there, like that. And when the tape from the positive side hits the battery, and again, my apologies, it works way better than this and looks better. When you connect the metal battery with your conductive copper tape, it makes the light up, okay? It works. Maybe I'll do one for Slack so you guys can see. I'll do a professional one. So that is all of the tricks that I have up my sleeve for my game show buzzer that we hacked with just random things that we found around the house, upgrading it a little bit with some LED lighting, doing a mild amount of programming, and then of course bringing it back to something very basic, which I could have used to make the buzzer, because you can make several connections with this copper tape. You can do a connection here, here, and here, and connect more lights. Of course, you may need to add more batteries as well. And you can also program this too, which maybe I'll, work on that one day too. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions or any input, suggestions. I'm open.
This was fun, Char. Appreciate you doing it.
Glad you stuck around.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the Circuitio stuff before, so that's a new one for me.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I think that's something we could do for, Girls Maker Club.
Yeah.
Or depending on, how long this goes on. I mean, it would be good to make project suggestions for people and say, hey, buy this kit. You can do this at home, and this is how easy it is to do. And we can do videos on it so people can actually see someone putting it together that they know.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yep. So thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Mommy. That's how you know you're legit. Your mom sticks around to the end.
Yep. It's always a good sign.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go get dinner with the family.
All righty.
And hopefully, I don't know. I might see you soon, Kevin.
Well, we are planning on opening up in a smaller capacity into the month, so.
I know. And that's probably the hardest decision for me, because, it's still a pandemic to me.
Yeah, the number 7. Number 7 really improved. The infection rate is kind of still pretty constant. It's not like the rate has gone down. So.
Exactly. So, my biggest struggle is I really need to use a table saw and the blow forge, but I don't want to die doing it.
Yeah, it's not worth dying for sure.
So hopefully I'll get to see you soon, but in the meantime, take care. I think I'm doing one of these again next week on the workbench that I made.
Oh yeah. Yep, so I'll be there for that one too.
My camera game together by then.
Well, it's all good practice. I like to think of this stuff as just good practice for YouTube videos and all that. So, it's a low pressure sort of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Not that YouTube is particularly high pressure, but.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for staying on, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, Char.
Okay, you too.
And Char's mom.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yep.
bye. Okay.